timming out because we got 4 more hours to go. We've been on the road for about 3.5. We're headed to Ohio. And I'm not afraid to admit I'm not as young as I once was. These all-night pulls used to be, I mean, that just used to be what we did. Well, I'm doing that tonight. It's that point in the season where you can see the end. The end is in sight, and you kind of start panicking, or at least I always do. I kind of get into a panic mode and just start trying to take off and go everywhere I can. Did that today. Neither here nor there. I'm going up here to Ohio for the last 3 mornings of their season. Everything is closing down at home tomorrow, well, that's what we're doing. So I'd have loved to stop by there in Kentucky and wrestle around with a few of your gobblers, but you wouldn't let me buy a license this year. So we just gonna drive on through, go somewhere as it will. Still on the road. We have 1 hour and 2 minutes left to go. I am on fumes, buddy. Matter of fact, if I find a spot right here to pull over and take me a nap, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. We found ourselves a Walmart. I got about 1 hour to nap, so I'm fixing to crash for an hour because I'm about beat. I'll get back with y'all in about an hour. Just as the sun's brightening up, we should make it. Nothing like risking life and limb to get somewhere by daylight and then not checking the weather to know that the wind's 25 miles an hour in daylight. I saw when I was coming in, it was a flag. It was waving like crazy. Started paying attention at that point. Looked at trees and they were whipping. So, got here, needless to say, the wind is crushing it, so. Field here. I just went to the back of it and screeched on that glass call as loud as I could possibly do it. Calling down, it rolls off down in there, and I'm hoping the wind carried it way down in there, and hopefully we're just going to sit down here for a little bit and see if anything wanders into the back of that field, because you sure ain't gonna hear nothing. I don't really know what my plan is going forward, because hunting with your ears is completely out, like 100% out. Grass is tall in the fields because it's late season, so you can't see them real well. So I don't really know. I need to just do some scouting or something. I need to just go to sleep. Well, that chance of thunderstorms they were talking about stopping by to visit about 3 o'clock this afternoon is a bit early. We're riding some public dirt here, checking things out, checking see how thick the woods are, and they are thick. The spot that I wanted to go, that I have hunted in the past, they're logging. They got a big skidder in there and log trucks and everything, so that's out. We're starting from scratch, and that ain't good when you only got 2 mornings. We're gonna need a little horseshoe on this one, boys. Basically, we've turned up nothing in a whole day. It's been like this all day. I'm trying to put something together here. I just need to hear a turkey gobble. I need to get close to one. So lace your boots up and get ready, because tomorrow we're gonna put a lot of miles on. I've rode around and I've found a lot. What I've found is a lot of stuff that looks good from the road, like the fields and stuff. Obviously, majority of them are private. But the state ground that comes down behind it's big hardwoods. I mean, beautiful stuff. But I have not seen a single turkey in any of the fields, and it just looks like you should. But I'm thinking if I just get up in there and those big hardwoods behind it, it's big steep stuff, catch me a bench and just start working it, that eventually, if you put enough miles on through that type of country, you should, I would think, surely bump into a willing turkey. So it's the top of the morning. It is extremely early, but I did get 4 hours sleep last night, or right at 4 hours sleep last night, which is a considerable amount more than I did the night before last. So did end up finding a turkey yesterday evening, about 30 minutes before fly up. It was a flock of turkeys. Had one turkey, one gobbler in it, as best I could tell. Just a long way to get there. So we're starting bright and early in order to get there in time. But hopefully when daylight breaks, he's gonna gobble and we're gonna be able to figure something out. I don't know much about him other than I just like caught a fleeting glimpse of him and got him to gobble one time as the rain started coming down yesterday evening. But I'm hoping I can get over there in his neighborhood and he'll gobble this morning and we can get in close and, I don't know, work something out, get close to one. Chance of thunderstorms off and on all day. I'm gonna pack my rain gear as long as I don't leave it sitting in that seat right there, which is what I'm kind of getting good at doing with important stuff. But you haven't heard from me this morning because it's rained like crazy. Since I've gotten in here, I've been hunkered down all morning. And I'm in here and all of a sudden the hens start yelping like crazy about 80 yards in front of me. And two of them just pitched out into the field here. Hadn't heard anything gobble, but I'm sure he's close. But I gotta get this camera back in the bag because, well, it's friggin' raining. Our boy finally gobbled. He's on past where the hens flew out. So I'm gonna get him in the timber here and start easing that way, assuming he's gonna make his way to them. God, this rain needs to quit. I thought the turkey was down low, down this way, so I got in this creek. Got around there and he gobbled. I think he's on top of this tall knob. And he may be walking down the top of it to get to these fields because it's wet and rainy today. He's gobbling right above me here. What I don't know is if he is still in the tree right off the edge of this it's a super steep knob that's right behind these fields. I can't tell if he's up on top of the knob gobbling or if he's on a tree about halfway off the knob. If he's in a tree, that probably means he's going to pitch all the way to these fields below us. Got these fields down here. That's where the two hens pitched to earlier. That's where I saw him yesterday. He's gobbling right over here. He's gobbling like crazy. I'm trying to ease up this
there's a hen on a limb right here. I can't go any further. Dang it. I need to get over the top on this turkey. Can't tell if he's on the ground or in the tree. That hen is severely interfering with this process. Gosh dang it. But if I blow her out, I bet it blows the whole deal. The hen flew down on the hill with him. How can I not see him? Man, I hope that was him. You know, he was gobbling right there, and then I saw him come across. But I do remember yesterday there been some jakes there with him. Now, what I saw with him earlier was a hen for sure. But I should have probably waited until I confirmed either a beard or watched him gobble or something. Whatever it was is dead. Very dead. Well, we got something. I snuck up here. I'll come up this super nasty steep ravine. He was gobbling right over the top of this knob right here. But a hen was roosted right there, and I caught her before she caught me, thank goodness. And I watched her pitch from there to down into the knob with him. And I was crawling up trying to get to this tree right here. And he gobbled, I mean, literally just, I was like, how can I not see that turkey? He was gobbling just right there. And as you can see what I'm in here. And then finally I caught him coming through the tops of that stuff, and he come and poked his head up by that little tree right there. I don't know, what is that, 30 yards maybe? I'm hoping like heck it wasn't a jake. There was jakes in there yesterday. And I didn't confirm that was him that gobbled. It's just a big red head come across the top. And it's kind of silhouetted because as you can tell, it's still overcast and dark and dreary. So it was a gobbler head. But I wish I'd have waited now because I don't know what I'm walking up on here. I hope it's him. It's him. Ohio. Lord, you ain't give me the weather. Oh, we worked it out. Holy crap. Look what a spot he caught on. And from this knob right here, that joker was screaming over everything. There wasn't no setting this thing up. I got caught on all fours. I was trying to get to that big tree right there and then wound up getting hung up in that laurel stuff right there. He was gobbling just, he'd obviously flown down and was hanging out right here on the side of this knob. He was right here, raising cane. But that hen was on one of those limbs right there, and I caught her coming up, thank goodness. And when I saw her pitch into this side, I knew I was in business because I was still unsure if he was on the limb, because you can't tell on these steep sides. He could be on the ground or he could be on the limb. If he's on the limb, he's probably lower than he is on the ground. So I was watching that hen, I knew she would tell me. If she pitched into the ground, I knew that he was standing here on the ground. But if she turned and pitched all the way off to those fields, which I kind of expected, because you can see, I mean, they can set their wings, don't even have to beat them, and they would be gliding right to that field. I was making my little scurry up to the crest here, and well, I'll probably have the audio at least on something, because he's like, wow. I was like, phew, can't go where I was wanting to, boys. Can't go where I was trying to get to, because he's making his way to me. Oh yeah, y'all want to see him? Let's look at him. Whoa, oh Lord have mercy. You are fine, my friend. You are wet, but you are fine. Thank you for your loud, I mean you beautiful son of a gun. God, what a turkey. What a turkey. Fine Ohio gobbler on the next to last day of the season. It's wet. I'm wet. He's wet. We're all wet. Pretty miserable out here. I'm just gonna be honest with you, but we had a fine time in miserable weather. There's a bunch of folks would have said, no, I ain't gonna deal with all that. And when it started raining at about 45 minutes before daylight, I was thinking the same thing. No, this is a bad idea. But hey, look what happened. We got us a fine gobbler. He's a big old rascal. He's wet, soaking wet, but that joker's got a head like a coffee can and a beard. Looks like a foot-long Coney from Sonic.
Don't act like y'all don't know what a coney is.
No, I only eat kale and avocados.
You gotta have your foot-long chili cheese coney from Sonic sometimes, and that's what this thing right here looks like. I'm talking about, it's wet and it is still just a rope. But I think I'm gonna have me a cigar if I keep it lit in this wetness. I'm about to toke it quick, boys. Shall we? Yes, sir. It's wet, cold, and rainy, but I'm all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Fine hunt. Ohio continues to be a favorite of mine.